Coming up, Ipswich continues its trajectory as one of the fastest growing regions in Australia and is enjoying consistent population growth, with the total now approaching 250,000. Ipswich CBD is on the verge of opening the new city library and civic space before Christmas. Meanwhile, in Bell Street, the old Friendly's and Doctors premises has been extensively refurbished. I'll chat with the developer about this transformation. It's Thursday, September 10, 2020, and I'm Alan Roebuck. Welcome to Ipswich Today, which acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land on which it is produced and pays respects to elders past, present and emerging. This podcast is supported by Kinetics, people-powered web hosting trusted by Australian businesses since 1999. Ipswich locals would be familiar with the Friendly Care Pharmacy and Doctors premises in Bell Street. The building was sold to a company called Helmsman Invest for $4.1 million. Shortly after the sale, a substantial $5 million redevelopment began to bring it up to current standards and expand the footprint towards East Street. Bernie McKeering heads up Helmsman Invest as Managing Director, and he joins me now. Thanks for speaking with Ipswich Today, Bernie.
Oh, thanks very much for having us, Alan. It's great to talk with you.
This is a prime Ipswich CBD site, not owned by council. What motivated you to invest in the city?
Alan, I've actually had a fair bit of involvement with Ipswich over the years. I'm based in Brisbane, but I've always been a great supporter and always loved the geography and the opportunities that have presented themselves in the city of Ipswich. I've had a number of commercial acquisitions over the years, but I really got reinvigorated, if I can use that expression, in relation to that whole precinct where we bought in Bell Street there, just on the back of what the Ipswich City Council is doing in that area. They're obviously spending an enormous amount of money in that precinct with the new council building, which is obviously 10 levels and should house somewhere in the order of 1,000 odd council staff. Then you've obviously got the new library, a big part of which will be a children's library, which will be a really good generator of people to that area. You've got the East Precinct, which is effectively a big high-end food court. You've got a beautiful old hotel being renovated or refurbished and, for a high-level food offering. And you've got the cinemas coming. So on top of that, obviously, Nicholas Street's been beautifully refurbished. So I took a view on that precinct at that time that there was... that area was really going to come alive, and it is. So I decided I wanted some of the action, and we bought our site, which is 3,000 square metres, pretty much directly across the road from it, and right beside the Ipswich railway station.
Yeah, I don't think you could be much closer to that redevelopment, and obviously it was critical to your decision to invest in Bell Street. It
was, Alan. Yeah, it was, and the other thing was obviously the Ipswich railway station. The site we bought was really sort of earmarked for a major redevelopment, but we took the view, there was actually two very nice buildings on the site. They were aged, but we just took the view that it was a good opportunity to reposition those. Now, we thought we could take advantage of what's going on in that precinct. I think it's yet to really happen, but I think throughout the course of next year, that area there is really going to come alive. You've obviously also got the existing Icon building, which is I guess circa 10 stories. Yes. Right there at Bell Street, which went up a number of years back. So that part of town there is really where it's happening in Ipswich, and you can see that by I think it's about $250 million that the council is investing into that area in the future of that zone.
Well, locals are very familiar with the building, Bernie. It's been there a number of years. It was starting to get a bit tired, as you've kind of mentioned. You've invested a reported further $5 million to refurb and expand. Can you walk us through what's been done?
We have, Alan. Yes. The building was occupied by Friendly Care Pharmacy. They actually bought it. They actually own it, and we bought it from them. What we actually have done is we've relocated them down onto the East Street side of the building. There was a car park under the building that we've actually converted into a pharmacy, and then beside that, Friendly Care, My Health medical practice. So My Health are a big brand GP clinic. They've got about 85 or 86 clinics around Australia. So we've ended up securing them for a very long-term lease, and also as part of the acquisition of the building, we agreed terms with Friendly Care to move them down there on a very long-term lease. So what we did was we went about a major refurbishment of the building, initially creating the space where those tenants move into on East Street, and then working our way through the building. We haven't cut any corners with this refurbishment. We really have replaced the vast majority of the building plant equipment, all of the air conditioning. We've put in a passenger lift right through the building. So the building has full access for people with disabilities, which is obviously critical. It has a new roof. It has new ceilings. It has new lighting. It has new floor coverings. It has new bathrooms. And so it's actually architecturally, it's actually coming up really well. We're very excited about the product. The big thing for us now is we've got those great tenants secured on East Street, but then in addition to that, we've got 2,000 square metres of available space for lease, which we're really focused on sorting out over the coming months.
So too early to say who might be fronting Bell Street?
Probably, Alan. We are courting a number of groups for that space. We haven't locked anyone away yet. On Bell Street there we have effectively two areas. We've got a 1,200 square metre tenancy, which is a big space. 1,200 metres is effectively it's sort of equivalent to a large floor of a big CBD office building. So it's a lot of space. And then in addition to that, on the other side of the floor, on the other side of the main entry to the floor, we've got a 300 square metre tenancy. So we've got a lot of space there to lease on that Bell Street level. And we have been talking to a number of allied health type organisations. Our preference would be to get some health tenants in that space. But in saying that, it really is a corporate office building right in the middle of town. So we're talking to a number of groups, dealing with the local agents, and hopeful that we can make some announcements over the coming months.
Very exciting, Bernie. Now, the car park in East Street's also had a facelift. Will there be any space for workers there?
There will be. The car park on East Street, Alan, is a big car park. That was the other thing that attracted us to this particular property, was it had a big site, had a big car park, and that's obviously critical to tenants, particularly health-style tenants who have people coming and going all of the time. What we're doing with that car park is it's not a public car parking facility. What it is it's for the staff of the building, so the staff of My Health, Friendly Care, and the other companies that we put into the building, and then also their customers. So it's a staff and customer parking facility. It's not available to anyone to park there and catch the train to Brisbane or anything like that. It's specifically there for the building. But on the topic of parking, what I've also done is I've bought a site 2 doors down on East Street, and it's a vacant site of about 800 square metres, which was owned by the public trustee. And I've bought that a number of months back, and we just refurbished that very nicely. And we're creating a really nice parking facility there as well. Because what we're finding is people do have high parking requirements, and what we wanted to ensure was that we could meet those, particularly, again, coming back to that medical style industry. But there are also tenants out there that have fleets of cars. There are organisations, particularly that in the health sector, that have a fleet of cars, and they go out to people and help people with disabilities, those sorts of things. So what we wanted to be able to do is offer the best parking, and that's what we've created there by having that additional site a couple of doors down.
I think you've entered the CBD at probably the most exciting time in the last 20 years, apart from the Icon building completion. Bernie McKeering, thanks so much for talking with Ipswich today.
Alan, great pleasure. Thanks for your time.
The development in Bell Street is certainly exciting for the future of Ipswich CBD. And things are definitely looking up, with the population racing towards 250,000. Council's annual planning report card estimates the population increased by about 7,000 in 12 months to June 30. The pandemic doesn't appear to have dented the enthusiasm of new home builders choosing Ipswich. Almost 2,500 new dwellings were built. The fastest growing suburbs are Spring Mountain with 442, Redbank Plains 394, South Ripley 231, along with Ripley and Deebing Heights. The Planning and Regulatory Services report card gives a snapshot of development and population growth. It includes land subdivisions, building works and applications for planning, building and plumbing. You'll find a link to the full report in the podcast notes or search Council's planning website, ipswichplanning.com.au. Ipswich Today is supported by Kinetics, people-powered web hosting trusted by Australian businesses since 1999. You can subscribe for free and share this podcast from your favourite app, including iHeartRadio, or play Ipswich Today from your smart speaker. Suggestions are welcome for future interviews and topics. Just go to the Ipswich Today website or Facebook page and leave a message. Music is supplied by Purple Planet Music. This is Alan Roebuck. Thanks for listening.